What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another what to buy on eBay video. As always, make sure you vet the items and the sellers, although I did kind of do a first glance at them, and some of these sellers I've dealt with in the past and have always had very good success with them and very happy with my purchases. In the video description, there will be eBay affiliate links. Those links help out the channel. If you see an auction that you plan on bidding on seriously, you can put in an early bid and it'll kind of register my channel as being an affiliate link for that auction. And if you come back later at the end of the auction to bid to try to win it, it'll give the channel credit. So same thing for the buy it nows. You know, if you find an item that's a buy it now situation and you make an offer, if you use those links, it does help out the channel. And I appreciate those of you that do that. You're very, very helpful for helping with channel expenses. So thanks so much. I've got some really nice items here. I've got a couple of vintage collection, and then the rest of it's all loose graded, mint on cards, things like that, vintage Kenner stuff. So hopefully something in here will strike your fancy and you can pick out your first pickup for January 2024. Although I've already spent some money, so I'm kind of out on all these items, although there are a number of them that I'd really like to bid on. So let's take a look. First of all, for those of you in the UK, there are some really nice uncirculated graded UKG TVC that are for sale. And I think it's really, this is geared towards my UK viewers because they're, you know, the global shipping program makes it kind of cost prohibitive. But the first one is a U95 Luke Skywalker from The Last Jedi, VC131. And again, it's an uncirculated 95 grade. One just sold recently for like 70 or 80 pounds. So they go for pretty cheap, just given the grading costs. So I'm not sure if this one's of interest, but go check out Ewok Mania. Great name. Sellers other items. If you click here, he's got some other items that might be of interest to you, but I just included a couple of them. The Luke Skywalker, and then he has the Imperial Assault Tank Driver. Both of those are graded uncirculated 95. This one's my favorite, obviously, just given how expensive the Assault Tank Driver and Commander are. There was one that just sold here recently for a lot of money, and this one's still at $26. Both of those in Saturday afternoon, about 2:13 Central U.S. time. So for those of you in the UK, there you go. A couple of different vintage collection, and again, that same seller has a number of other high-grade vintage collection for sale. All right, so now let's dig into some vintage Kenner items. The first one is a baggie for EV99. I've heard loud and clear from several of you that you're both, 2 or 3 of you are on baggie kind of expeditions, trying to add to your baggie collection. This is kind of a tough one to get because the EV99 last 17 figure, and it's also in a baggie. And the only way to get this was in the Jabba's Dungeon playset last 17 version that came with a Monomon, EV99, and Barada. That's the only way to get this baggie. So it's going to be pretty expensive, but right now it's at $161. The baggie looks to be super mint. It's a heat sealed baggie, so you don't have to worry about tape or anything like that. Would grade very high, I think. There's 3 days, 6 hours left as of the making of this video. It ends on Saturday evening at 9 p.m. Central Time. So again, it's at $161 right now. I would think it's going to be over $300, maybe even closer to $400. But I would think somewhere in that $300 to $350 range should be enough to win that. Next up, I've got a buy it now situation, although it is make an offer, and that's for a Hong Kong baggie for Bib Fortuna. Heat sealed baggie in very clean condition. The writing on the baggie is still very, very crisp and clean. This is the blue-green color to the ink on that one, and there are 17 watchers on that one. I've got a baggie coming, and I was like, I need another baggie in order to make it worth it for the shipping when I send it off to Collector Archive Services. So I almost bought this one. I almost bought it, but I did not. So I'm going to put it out there for you guys if you want to make an offer on it. That's a pretty good looking baggie though, and I think that would grade very high. And again, it's a make an offer situation. Buy it now at $115. With $5 shipping, and there's 17 watchers. So I think it's going to sell. It's just a matter for how much, but it's worth making an offer on that one. Okay, the Muffin Man. This is a seller that I buy from regularly, always has beautiful foreign high-grade stuff, and the first one is a PBP Imperial Commander graded UKG 85%. And one of y'all reached out to me and said, hey, if you find a PBP or a Spanish POC Imperial Commander, let me know. So I can't remember who it was that asked me that. So here you go. I'm making it aware right now, along with about 1,000 other of you. So I apologize, but I could not find your email. But this is a very high grade Spanish PBP Imperial Commander. This one ends Sunday afternoon about 1:06 Central Time. So he's got a number of other items that I wanted to highlight, as well as others that I'm not showing in this video. But there's a beautiful Spanish figure. He also does have the Spanish pink face Han Solo in Hoth gear. This one is a UKG 80%, probably a little generous on the grade. It's got, some wear to the hands, wear to the feet there, and some very light wear to the face. But it is a Spanish figure, and Spanish figures are notorious for poor paint applications. Very tempting figure, but I just bought a Hong Kong dark brown pants Han Solo Hoth, so I'm going to hold off on this one, but I got that one on Facebook here recently. It was graded UKG 85%, but this is a nice one, made in COO, and right now the bid is at 29 pounds. That one also ends Sunday afternoon. He also does have the TR Logo Boba Fett, the PBP Boba Fett. This is the painted knee, unpainted dark version with the dark brown belt. So that one again is a UKG 80%, and that one's at 58 pounds, which is $73 US. And again, it ends Sunday afternoon. Here is a beauty. I have not bought from this seller before, but he always is on eBay now pretty regularly, so I think you're in good shape there. He's had 128 transactions with 100% positive feedback, so I feel comfortable sharing another item from this seller. This is a UKG 90% Luke Skywalker in Stormtrooper disguise. So beautiful last 17 Luke, and in fantastic condition. This one is a stunner and awfully tempting. There's still 4 days left as of the making of this video, and it's already still at 510 pounds, which is $645 US. So this one's going to go for big money, but it is a UKG 90% brand new case style. That one ends Sunday afternoon, my time, about 3 p.m. So keep your eyes out on that one. That one is a stunner of a Luke Skywalker Stormtrooper disguise, UKG 90%. Next up, this seller has, I didn't include all of them again, but he's got some beautiful, very high-grade AFA 85 baggies. And I just pulled up a few of them, but you, again, go to the seller's other items because he has got some stunners, and they're at auction, so I think they're going to go for some good money. Maybe you get a good deal on them. This one is the ESB-C baggie for Leia in her Hoth outfit, and again, it's an AFA 85 grade. There's the grade on it, AFA 85 ESB-C. That one's at $155.50. All of these in Sunday afternoon at 4:05 Central Time, so bid accordingly. But that one's a beauty. Next up is the Dangar in an ESB-D baggie, also AFA 85. That one's only at $56. So I think a lot of these, the baggie community is pretty select. It's very small. There's not a huge baggie following when it comes to these Kenner baggies. So, you might be able to get some good deals on some of these that are already graded. And, I just wanted to show them because some of these are pretty tough to find, especially this one. This Boss baggie is a very, very tough baggie to find. This is the ESB-D baggie. This is not the mail-away baggie that came on the SWA, I think it was an SWA or B baggie that had white lettering on it and the orange head Bosk inside. That one's the mail away, very commonly found, very easy to find. This one is not easy to find. I already have this one, or I wouldn't be showing it on the channel because I would be buying it. But I've got an AFA 85 plus for this particular baggie, and I can tell you that this one is not easy to find. When I showed mine on Instagram, I had 2 or 3 people reach out and said, "I've been looking for that baggie forever. Will you sell it?" And the answer is no. But if you guys want this baggie, it's the same baggie I've got, the ESB-D baggie, graded AFA 85. There's no bids on it yet. So maybe this one sneaks underneath the radar, but I can just tell you that this particular baggie variation for Bosk is not easy to find and is definitely worth picking up if you're into baggies. Next up, I've got a mint in sealed box Tonton. This has got the open belly rescue feature label there, and it does have like a yellow tag 50% off sticker as well as a Toyland sticker there. But this one is mint in sealed box, and the box is in fantastic condition. I think if you're into grading this kind of stuff, this one would probably grade out at about an 80. The only defects are on the bottom of, or on one side. It looks like it's on the bottom, but maybe it's on one side of the box. But there's a tear right there, and then one soft crease. The rest of the box is in great shape, and I think this one would grade an 80. If not, it would be very close. It would be like a 75 plus. But right now, it's at auction. This one ends Sunday evening at 7:17 Central Time, and the current bid is only $150. So if you're into those kind of mint and seal box play sets and creatures and things like that, this one is a beauty. And right now it's still very cheap. Next up, this seller who is on eBay very regularly, Jada 34, has some beautiful Power of the Force mint on card for sale. So if you're looking for last 17 mint on card, he's got a number of them at auction right now. They all end, it looks like, Monday evening. This one is the EV99. It does have a soft crease in the upper left-hand corner, so just bid accordingly on that one. But a number of these are in really great shape. Specifically, the Awing Pilot is another one. That one also ends Monday evening. That one's in very good shape and should grade out. I didn't see the back of it before I pulled this one up. It's got some writing on the back of the card. So this one is a good candidate for sliding acrylic case, not to be graded because it does have writing on the back. But the front looks really great, and it does have the KB Toys price sticker unpunched card. This one's a budget-friendly option because it does have the writing on the back of the card. Next up is the Imperial Gunner. This one is clean, though. This does not have any writing on the back of the card, and it does have the Toys R Us price sticker in the upper left-hand corner on the front, but the blister and the card back and everything are in pretty good shape. A little bit of wave to the card back, but I think that would straighten out in a star case for a week or two. I think that one would grade out at an 80. That right now, the bid on that one is $375. And then the same seller also has a beautiful unpunched General Lando Calrissian, last 17. Beauty of a card, no writing on the back of the card for this one, and that one would grade very highly. I would expect that one to grade at an 80 or an 80 plus pretty easily. That one's at $245 right now in an auction. I've got a couple of buy it nows that I'm surprised have not sold yet. I sent these to my Patreon supporters in a buy it now alert, but they have not sold, so I'm going to share it with you guys. The first one is a Luke Skywalker in Battle Poncho, and it's a beauty of a card with only light yellowing to the card back. It's got a make an offer option on it, and there's 17 people watching this one, so I'm shocked it hasn't sold. It's got one little tiny litho tear in the upper upper right-hand corner, but I think this one would grade at least an 80. It's a beauty of a card and very, very light yellowing, and it's at $540 make an offer, and it's been sitting for about a week now, so you might want to make an offer on that one, like a lowball offer, and just see what he does, because that one I think would grade very highly, and I've seen a number of them here recently. I just made a mint on card video before I started filming this, where one that was in not nearly as nice a condition sold for almost this exact same price. So again, I'm a little bit surprised that this one has not sold yet, and it's unpunched with a really nice blister that is not yellowed that much at all. And then the same seller also has the Imperial Dignitary. Same story on this one. I just documented one that sold for about $320, and the card was not nearly as nice as this one. It had a crease on it and everything. This one I think also would grade an 80 pretty easily. It's unpunched, and it does have fairly moderate yellowing to it, but I think that would grade an 80 all day long. And it's at $340 make an offer, and there are 11 people watching that one. So again, I think both of those buy it nows are pretty close to market value, but he does have a make an offer option on that one. Next up, I've got a small diecast purchase for those of you looking. CAS makes some really cool loose graded features, loose graded diecast boxes, and I've got 3 of them coming back from CAS here soon. I think this one would grade at an 80 or an 80 plus, but this is the Diecast Slave 1, and it's only $35 with $10 shipping. So that's about the going rate, I think, for a nice clean diecast. I certainly paid more for mine. It's got a couple of little light paint chips on it, but I think this one would grade at an 80 or an 80 plus with CAS if you're looking for a Diecast Slave 1. The same seller also has a beauty, a beauty of a Diecast Tie Bomber, and this one is in fantastic condition with hardly any paint chips at all. I mean, I really think that this one would grade an 80 or potentially an 80 plus. I mean, look at the top of this one. It's got hardly any paint defects that you can see at all. And this is the most expensive of all the diecast line. So if you're looking for one, this one is a really in great shape. Maybe some faint yellowing to the wings, but it's very faint. I mean, it's in great shape. And it's listed for $750, which seems like a lot. But I mean, I've seen a number of these that have sold for $1,000 or more. So I think that's not a bad price at all for, I think, one that would grade at an 80 or an 80 plus. And again, it's at $750. And there's 13 watchers on that one. So if you're looking for the Diecast Tie Bomber, there you go. That is a stunner of an item. Next up, I've got another one I sent to my Patreon supporters that no one bid on or made an offer on. But this one is make an offer, and this is the Tig From. And it does have some scuffing on the inside of the blister from where the figure is kind of rubbed on the inside. But I think that this mint on card Tig From, it's unpunched. And it's also the US card, and it would probably grade out at about a 70. It's got one little crease by the hang tab there. Not a 70, a 75. This one would grade a 75. It's got some very light edge wear and then one little light crease by the top of the footer there, or of the footer of the hang tab. So it's kind of like partially unpunched. Clear blister because this is made in Mexico. This is a Lily Letty made Tig From. So it's at $800 make an offer. And, you know, loose complete, these can go for $600 or more, just loose and complete, ungraded. So mint on card, Tig From at $800. It's probably not too far off of market value. There's 17 watchers on it. So if you're looking for a Tig From in about 75 grade mint on card, there you go. That is a beauty, and I think that's priced pretty well. Next up, I've got two beautiful tri-logos that Matthew C., a Patreon supporter and friend of mine, sent me that I thought I'd show you. I think they're a little overpriced, but he does have a make an offer option. And the first one is the German Parker tri-logo for Dangar. This one is a beauty, graded AFA 85, archival case. It is a punched example, but it is the German Parker card. And that is a stunner. The blister on that one is in really clean shape. It's listed for $800, make an offer, and there's 10 watchers on it. I don't know what it's worth, personally. I mean, part of me says $550 to $600. I might go up to $650 for it because it is an AFA 85. It's really hard to get an AFA 85 in any tri-logo card back, and that one is every bit of an 85. I mean, that blister looks absolutely factory fresh. So if you're looking for the Dangar on a tri-logo card back, I might make an offer at $650. That's probably about as high as I would go. Right now, it's at $800, but maybe you make an offer and see what it does. He also has a CAS 85 Zukus tri-logo. I think it's a little bit overgraded. It's graded 85 for the card, blister 80, figure 85 for an overall 85. I think the overall grade should be an 80 because it does have some pretty heavy dings on the top of the blister. So I think that the overall grade is too high. I really think it really should have been graded at an 80. All that being said, it's a beauty of an item. I just don't think it's worth $850. I might pay $600 for it. And as you can see up here, I did receive an offer from the seller for $700. So if you make an offer, I know he'll take $700 for it. I think it's a little bit high though. I don't think that I would pay $700 for it. I might go to $600 on it just because I think it's slightly overgraded and probably more like a CAS 80 grade if you ask me. I'm just judging it based on some of the other Collector Archive Services 80 grade tri-logos in my collection, and there's no way that this one should have received an 85 overall grade in my opinion. But it is still a beauty. It's one I need, but I'm just not willing to pay $700 for it because I think it's more of like a $600 max type of mint on card. So anyway, there you go. I've got some items for you. And if you're new to the channel, I try to do these what to buy videos weekly. And again, in the video description, there will be eBay affiliate links if you want to use those to bid or buy it now to help out the channel. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll be back soon.